Inspired by childhood basketball cards, Ninja Turtles, and Michael Jordan memorabilia, Mike Spitz, or Mr. Throwback, opened his first store in the East Village in 2012. Children of the 80s and 90s may feel like they're back in their childhood bedroom at his men's shop, specializing in vintage sports attire like NBA snapback hats.
I'm 32 years old. Sometimes I feel like I'm 12 in here.
Mike, who identifies himself as a vintage detective, now has a mass of followers on social media platforms like Instagram.
He just stays involved with the customer a little more than the average vintage shop.
But before being Mr. Throwback, he was not sure about his future. Growing up in Long Island, New York, Mike once wanted to become a PE teacher. He graduated from college in Maryland with a sports management degree in 2005. But he finally went to his brother-in-law's accounting firm in Manhattan, as his parents hoped.
I was sitting at a desk. It's not for me. I was wearing like a suit and a tie, and that's just not me. I wear like my own clothes, sweatpants, and sneakers all day. Like, I don't want to wear that. And I just didn't enjoy it.
Around the same time, Mike became interested in collecting hats and jerseys since he found himself still enthusiastic about old-school sports stuffs that fascinated him in childhood.
When I first started, I spent probably in the like 8,000 to 10,000 range. I bought from a guy on Craigslist, actually, in Florida, 100 hats and 100 jerseys. And then I had jackets and t-shirts. I had probably anywhere between 400 to 500 items in my parents' house.
He's like crazy, the biggest hoarder that I know, as you can see all around you.
After collecting a lot from eBay and local stores, Mike started to sell them in Manhattan's Hell's Kitchen flea market on weekends period.
My parents were like, you've amounted so much inventory that it's time to sell it to someone else or give it away.
Soon, Mike found he fell in love with the people, the trading, and the haggling.
I woke up for the flea market at 4 a.m. in my parents' house and packed up my car till 6 and then drove into Manhattan. I was more happy at 4 a.m. to the end of the day than I was going and waking up 7, 8 o'clock and putting on a suit and going to the accounting firm to sit there.
Mike wanted to figure out a way to do the flea market a full-time, so he quit his accounting job and tried to open his own store. But his parents worried about him.
My parents are old school. I have an older sister. My parents enjoy, because they've been working at the same place for like 20 years.
On a stroll through the East Village, Mike found this vacant shop with all the setup and shelving in it, but he couldn't afford the deposit the broker asked for.
And I was in the area again, and I found the store again, and there was no one in it. And I'm like, this store is it. I got to figure it out. Some lady walks by, and I'm like, she's like, are you interested in the store? And I'm like, yes, I called the broker. They want so much money. I can't do it. She's like, well, what do you do? I'm like, I sell men's 80s and 90s vintage clothes. And she was like, tell me more. And I literally spoke to her for 3 hours outside. And she's like, you know what? I own the building. And I said, are you, like, I got really excited. And she's like, you know what? Call me tomorrow. The store is yours.
The local media call Mike a top 10 vintage lover in New York City. He thinks he made the right choice doing what he loves. And he is making money.
This is what I want to do, and eventually it'll sell. So I spent a lot of money, and I've spent a lot of money. But right now I'm not in debt. We have money in the bank. So I guess we're successful.
Wenjinhua, Columbia TV News.